Peace and blessings, Boston. I am Wes Ward, and you are tuned in to the first hour of a new era. Before we address the headlines, we must address the history. I'm a 24-year-old born and raised in the heart of Mattapan, the 0126. But my age is not my identity. My work is. Recently, the city of Boston awarded me on my birthday honoring the movement and progress I have made within the community. I want you to hear the names of the men and women who have stood where I'm standing today. These are not just names in a textbook. These are the architects of the foundation I walk upon. Malcolm X, the master teacher. He found his voice right here in Roxbury. His mother was of the West Indies, and his father was from Georgia. He didn't just speak, he organized. He taught us that the first step to freedom is the reclamation of your own mind. He led Temple number 11, Mosque number 11, with a discipline that the establishment feared because a disciplined man is a man who cannot be bought. Malcolm taught us that you cannot have a revolution without an evolution of the mind. He showed us that the ballot or the bullet isn't just a choice of action, but a choice of self-determination. He stood for the principle that if a man doesn't stand for something, he will fall for anything. Then there is James Baldwin, the witness. He sat in our own UMass classrooms and looked at the American structure with a surgical eye. He spoke truth to power about the fire that is inevitable when people's humanity is denied. Baldwin taught us that the price one pays for pursuing any profession or calling is an intimate knowledge of its own hidden secrets. He understood that to be black and conscious in this country is to be in a constant state of rage. But he showed us how to channel that rage into a brilliance that the world cannot ignore. We look to Emma Lewis, the pride of Roxbury, parents from the West Indies who followed the movement of Marcus Garvey. She didn't wait for the city to build us a theater. She understood that if you wait for the man to build you a house, you will always be a guest in it. She built the School of Fine Arts and the playhouse in the park. She understood that a people without a culture are a people without a future. She proved that our art is our greatest defense against a world that tries to make us invisible. She turned a local park into a sanctuary of brilliance, teaching our children that their movements, their voices, and their history were sacred. And Marcus Garvey, the father of the global movement, born in Jamaica, he gave us the blueprint for the economic independence. He told us to look to the eagle and the lion to build our own systems, our own ships, and our own schools. He taught us that we must be the masters of our own destiny. He said, "Up, you mighty race, accomplish what you will." He understood that until we own the means of our survival, we are at the mercy of those who do. I am the youngest person in the history of this Commonwealth to receive such an honor. I do not mention these historical figures to be compared to them. I mention them to remind you that the seat I occupy today was paid for in blood, sweat, and tears. I am not here to entertain you. I am here to lead a conversation about sovereignty, equity, and the survival of our community. This is the West Ward Show, and our word is law. We are standing on a foundation laid by giants, and it is our responsibility to build a structure that we will be proud of. We are not just occupying space, we are reclaiming territory. We must speak on the state of our home, and we must speak with the precision of a surgeon. While we are told by the suits at City Hall and the State House to be patient, to wait for the next fiscal cycle, and to understand that resources are limited, the State Auditor's Office has just pulled back the curtain. They have uncovered $4.4 million in public benefits fraud. SNAP and Medicaid funds siphoned away, stolen and mismanaged, while our people in Mattapan, Roxbury, Dorchester, and all over are checking their balances at the register just to see if they can afford the eggs and the milk and the food for their families to survive. Think about the logic of that. They tell you the tank is empty. They tell you there's no money to fix the community centers. There's no money to fund the youth programs. There's no money to fund local schools. There's no money to fund community projects. They tell you there's no money to fund nonprofits. They tell you that there's no money to help single family homeowners develop their home. They tell you there's no money for rent relief. They tell you there's no money for gas relief. They tell you there's no money to help young single mothers struggling to raise their children on their own. They tell you that there is no relief for the community. There's no money to invest in the Ward 26 collective, and there's no money for our families, our friends that are in desperate need of some assistance. But if they could find $4.4 million to lose to the wind, or not even just that, the billions of dollars that the previous governor has left us in surplus and rainy day funds, but yet we're still waiting for a state audit to be approved. That is not an oversight. That is not a glitch in the system. That is a betrayal of the public trust. It is a calculated neglect. When a system allows millions and billions of dollars to disappear while the poor are scrutinized for every dime, the system is telling you exactly who it values. Now, let's look at the response. 72% of you, the voters, the taxpayers, the bosses of this commonwealth, including myself, demanded a full audit of the legislator. In any business, if the bosses want to see the books, the employees open the books. But in this political theater, the governor and the attorney general are attempting to block the door. They are standing in the way of the very transparency they campaigned on. Why is the door locked? If your house is clean, you don't mind if the lights are turned on. When you see a man guarding a closed door with such intensity, you must ask yourself, what is he hiding behind it? Is it just incompetence? Or is it a deep, systematic rotting that they are afraid will be exposed to the midday sun. If the books are clean, let the sunlight in. But they don't want sunlight. They want the shadows. Because in the shadows, they can continue to tell you that there is nothing left for Mattapan. They can tell you that there is nothing left for Roxbury. They can tell you that there's nothing left for Dorchester, the South End, South Boston, and the entirety of the Commonwealth, and including the state of Massachusetts itself. Let this be a lesson to the establishment. I am 24 years old. I am the youngest to hold this resolution. I am a young black man in the community, as well as a first-generation Caribbean in the community. If you ignore the youngest leader in your district, you are ignoring the future. You are ignoring the generation that is coming to collect on the promises you made and never kept. We no longer ask for free support. That language is beneath us. We demand reciprocation. I have reached out for partnership. I have extended hand of collaboration to leadership in the office of the State House, the city officials, and other leaders in Massachusetts. I have done so with the dignity and professionalism that my position requires. But as of this broadcast, the silence is the only response we have received from many we would expect to answer. Now, we are playing it smart. We're not here to be rude. We are here to be respected. And respect is not a gift. It is a two-way street. We are ready to build. The Ward 26 Collective is ready to move. But we will not build on a foundation of silence. We are documenting the gatekeepers, and we are documenting the unanswered emails, the ignored phone calls. We are keeping track of everything. If you do not want to talk in the quiet of an office, then we will talk in the roar of the airwaves on Boston Praise Radio. We will let the people of Black Boston decide who is truly working for them and who is just posing for the photo op. We are moving from the era of the unanswered email to the era of the public mandate. If the State House will not answer to me, they will answer to the collective voice of a neighborhood that has finally decided to stand up. All right. We have to focus on the physical foundation of our power. We have to talk about the economic and cultural showdown happening right now on the historical streets of the North End. This isn't just a food fight between the restaurant owners, the businesses, and City Hall. It's a high-stakes local battle over the very definition of who truly controls public space. Mayor Wu's administration has imposed new, stricter regulations and a hefty fee for North End restaurants. Fees that other neighborhoods in this city aren't required to pay. Now, let's look at the logic that they're using. The city says it's trying to balance the needs of the neighborhoods. And specifically, this neighborhood holds roughly 10,000 residents with the economic needs of the business owners. But for those owners that are in need, the 10,000 that are in need of this economic benefit, this economic relief, many of whom are generational, many of this 10,000 of these business owners, they feel like this is an attack on their culture and their livelihood. They argue that these fees are discriminatory. Several restaurants have even sued the city of Boston over these rules, calling it an unfair burden on one specific ethnic neighborhood. While these battles rages in the courtrooms and in the streets, the situation on the ground is getting incredibly intense. The city has vowed to strictly enforce the regulations, issuing fines, threatening to revoke permits for any establishment that doesn't comply with the rules regarding the barrier placement, operating hours, and paying the required fees. Now, for my friends in the North End, I'm sure it's very hard for you to keep up to day-to-day operations now that you have new expenses to pay that weren't there the year before or the previous year before that. You would think that the city would actually take a moment to hear your voices and to actually let you speak on what's occurring. But instead, the city is making decisions for us that we don't entirely approve. And these decisions that they are making for us aren't guided by the voice of the people. It is important that we come together regardless of class, creed, race, to make sure that the city is answering to us and is making decisions that will help us. Looks like looks like we got a phone call. Peace and blessings. How are you doing?
Hello?
Hello. Peace and blessings. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Yo, man, I just got the number, bro. I just had to, stop through, show some love, man. I really appreciate what you've been doing out in the community, man. Keep it going.
I appreciate you a lot, man. That means a lot, definitely. We're just trying to make a
Word,
difference out
word.
here.
Yo, so is this like your podcast joint going on? Like, this all you? Or
Yes,
just
it
stopping
is.
there?
Yes, it is, brother. We're over here at Boston Praise Radio. We got an amazing opportunity from Pastor Bruce Wall, Pastor Hobbs, and Sister Renee to have this platform here for me to have the Westward Show. It's definitely going to be an amazing time here. We're going to be talking about a lot of different topics that are happening within the community, brother.
Word, word. All right, you kind of went out at the end there, but, yo, you know what? I get it, though. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, I just wanted to stop by, man. You know what I'm saying? Give you your flowers because, yo, this young man right now, he's changing the game, man. He's doing what a lot of us, and a lot of our parents wanted us to do. You know what I mean? So, yo, man, mad peace and blessings to you, man. And, yo, so I'm going to need some of your hair oil, too, man. I don't know if you got some more in stock, but I'm definitely going to need some of that lock oil, man.
Most definitely. We're definitely going to have more hair oil and products soon on the market. Right now, it's at sokasilk.com. People can come through, and we have delivery service as well. And there's a couple of shops in the neighborhood that we're actually going to be putting our products in their stores, in their barber shops, in the beauty supply stores. So it's actually going to be a really great year for the hair business. So I'll definitely tap in with that for sure. And I appreciate you, man, for sure.
Nah, you got it, man. I want y'all to have a beautiful, blessed day, man. Yo, own the day, man. Positive thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I know what you mean, man. Real team, brother. I really appreciate you, man.
All right, word. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. God bless you as well.
You got another call.
Okay. We just got another call. Let's
2 calls.
let's take that one.
Bring him in.
Peace and blessings. How are you doing?
Good morning. I just wanted to.
Eric, go.
Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
So I just wanted to say congratulations on your broadcast, and I want to talk a little bit about the North End and the fees and stuff that were imparted on the restaurants that wanted to do the outdoor seating. There's roughly about 90 to 120 restaurants in the North End,
Okay.
and that's spreading over a few blocks. If you think about the main road, Hanover Street, that has probably the most conduced area of restaurants in the North End.
Wow.
And if you ever try to traverse the North End when they have the outdoor seating, you're literally walking in the street most of the time, and it's really bad when it gets dark out and the cars are trying to squeeze down those small streets.
That's awful.
So I kind of agree that not all the restaurants should be able to have the outdoor seatings because there's so many.
Right.
But I don't agree that they should have to pay the amount that they're paying if they want to.
Most definitely. That's definitely something to think about, that the people who are driving through those neighborhoods, walking through, biking through, how like these outdoor aspects that try to cater in their aesthetic can be blocking up a good portion of the roads, causing drivers to go down unused roads or roads that haven't been paved in years. They could have like potholes. That's definitely damaging to car drivers going through the and just other people who just happily live nearby. No, that's definitely something to think about too. It's a definitely interesting perspective to have. Most definitely.
Absolutely. If you think about the number of elderly Italians, and if you want to, they want to really talk about the racial disparity. I know it's the Italian neighborhood, but there's no other ethnic restaurant in the North End.
Wow.
There used to be one Chinese food restaurant, but that's since gone after COVID.
So it's pretty much just like how we have our Vietnamese area in Boston. We have like a Chinatown area in Boston. You would say more so the North End is an Italian part of Boston?
Absolutely. That's historically what it was. There's a lot more college students living down there now,
Okay.
so it's more diverse now. But still, the basis
majority and the history of it and like the culture itself, where it's like based upon, you would say it's like Italian.
Exactly.
That's very interesting. What reasons would you say that the city has to put these type of fees upon just this neighborhood itself? And why not just Newbury Street or the financial district or downtown Boston? Why is it that these fees are only hitting the North End?
Well, like it said, it's congested down there.
Right.
Newbury Street has the money,
Right.
which means they could afford the fees if you decide to put it down there. But again, it's like the Rodeo Drive of Boston, so you don't want those companies to leave because you're putting fees on them,
Right.
and that's their fear. Whereas the North End, these are family-owned business, have been there for years, and the thought could be that they're not going to go anywhere.
Right.
Because that's their means of, that's their legacy, that's their means of, transitional and wealth to the family. Like, you look at Mike's Pastries, you look at all the Maria's Pastries, Bova's, those have been down there for ages, and they've been passed on for generation to generation. So that's where you're creating that generational wealth. And again, it's a big tourist area, so the city's looking at it. You're getting all these tourists that are coming in from all around the world to the North End, spending the money, and so
Taking
they're
the
saying,
duck boats
okay, you
around.
guys can afford these taxes.
So now, going back to what you said earlier, if they try to impose this on like Newbury Street, like one, Newbury Street has the money, but two, for some of those businesses, like you said, they could end up leaving. Wouldn't they expect that same result to happen in the North End, that some of these businesses would possibly be leaving due to like the fees and being overpriced out?
Not very restaurants in the North End have left. Even during COVID, a lot of them have managed to stick around because it is an Italian neighborhood. They support each other,
Right.
and people support them.
That's their biggest market, so going anywhere else wouldn't make sense.
And so they managed to, make their way through COVID. They managed to make, a few restaurants probably are left, but they were replaced immediately.
Wow. Wow, that's shocking. So you're saying there's pretty much a list of people that would honestly want to take those business spots and locations if someone couldn't afford their bill and they had to leave. Like you would say, like within like the 3 months, somebody would.
Well, a lot of the
occupy that
restaurants
space.
own the buildings that they're in.
Oh, really? They own it. They're not just leasing it.
Right. So some of them are leasing, but again, a lot of them
have owned it for generations.
Stems way back in the day. They bought the building and put the restaurant in there, and that's that. They got the. Not only do they have the revenue coming from the restaurant, they have the revenue coming from the rents.
Wow. No, that's definitely important. Like even just going back to Black Boston, it's just like when you're looking at Mattapan, Roxbury, and Dorchester, a lot of us don't even own the lands where our businesses sit upon. It's owned by the previous generations that was occupying the spaces before us in Mattapan. As you know, the Jewish community generations ago, decades ago, owned Mattapan as the dominatory group that was there. And even still to this day, a lot of these businesses are just leasing and renting out these spaces. Yep. And it's quite interesting that you say, at least for the North End, there's a lot of businesses Italian owned that are owning these spaces and passing it down through their family or friends and their connections. And we're over here, we're most likely paying a lot to the actual landowners, the actual business owners, on top of paying to city, on top of paying these fees and taxes and trying to keep up our day-to-day expenses for our businesses to actually stay afloat. And they're over here trying to put a bus lane in the middle of Blue Hill Ave to diminish the actual financial upkeeps that they're getting in revenue from the local neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm. Now think about it. There's like out of the 80 to 100 full service restaurants in the North End.
Yeah.
Another 20 to 30 cafes and bakeries and pastry shops. Yeah. Where else can you go and have the same ethnic food and all of them still thrive?
Can
you imagine like in Roxbury there'd be like 100 soul food restaurants? Do you think they would all be surviving and thriving? Not just surviving, but thriving.
No, honestly, I don't believe that could be the case, because honestly, people would try to find which one of the top fives and just go to the top fives, if anything. That's definitely very interesting that in the Italian area they're all serving variations of the same food, if not the same dishes. And
exactly.
People are still going to each one of them, and they're all still thriving. That's very interesting perspective, and it's the truth, because like that's what they're doing in real time. So, no, that's something I'm gonna ponder upon, because when you're looking in Roxbury, Mattapan, Dorchester, I'm sure if there was like 100 Jamaican restaurants all across the street from each other, like there's definitely gonna be some battles between where the customers will go.
Exactly. But I just wanted to bring that perspective to the broadcast. I look forward to hearing more from you, and congratulations, brother.
Thank you, brother. Peace and blessings. Looks like we're getting
you
another call. Peace and blessings.
Hello.
How are you doing? Peace and blessings. How are you doing?
Am I on the air?
Yes, you are. Good morning.
So, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well.
It's nice to see you and hear you back on the radio.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
I just wanted to piggyback on the last caller that was talking about the North End.
Yes.
Because when I was younger, I went to the North End. I used to go to Pokari's. It was a really famous restaurant. I love the North End.
Yes.
And that's great that there's a neighborhood like the North End. And I think he was also talking about that there are so many similarities in the North End, the group of people that live there, and they're all supporting each other.
Yes.
But he wants to maybe talk about why isn't that happening in other neighborhoods.
Right.
So one of the things that I can say, being a person from a different culture, a different country that came to live here, I usually, when I go out to eat, eat my own ethnic food
Right.
because it's more healthy for me.
Most
Because
definitely.
I find that the dishes that they have in the other black population in my neighborhood that eat a lot of fried food, I cannot do that. Where
Right.
I come from, we don't eat a lot of fried food.
Right. Being
So that's
Caribbean in this Boston area, being a Caribbean man, but also being a black man, I do prefer to have chana, roti, have curry chicken, to have a pumpkin, that
the
they
healthier
eat the
option.
healthier options that we have, kalaloo, like having some dumplings, dumpling soup, have it just like there's a variety of options like shark, bacon shark, there's just like so many options when it comes down to like Caribbean, West Indies food, and a lot of them are just so much healthier than what's served in like a day-to-day American restaurant or fast
Hmm.
food joint. So I definitely hear you on that, and I support that because we honestly should be supporting our brothers and sisters who are opening up these restaurants, clothing stores, and beauty supply stores as well.
Hmm.
I definitely agree with that. But why would you say that in the black community that you don't see as much support to keep these businesses going so they could grow and open up multiple locations? Because some businesses that they are
Um,
having a hard
yeah,
time.
yeah, it depends on what type of business it is. And I usually do support some of the businesses in my neighborhood,
Right.
some of the things, because they provide some of the things that I need and want to survive. A
Right.
lot of them don't. I think a lot of them are just there, especially the healthy food option. A lot of those fried chicken places, they're like on every block. Who wants to eat that? I don't. I don't.
Most definitely.
And so I find that some of the Caribbean restaurants are kind of bringing in some of that fried chicken and stuff like that, and just to have a larger crowd of people. But I
Yeah.
mean, when I'm hungry, I don't want to eat that. So that's one of the things that we focus on. And then in our neighborhoods, a lot of the fried food places like the New York Fried Chicken and all this stuff is on every corner.
Right.
Then there's the liquor stores just about on every corner.
Right.
And then there's another thing they break down, then it goes down to the churches just about on every
And now
corner.
they're trying to put weed
Stop,
shops in every
stop it.
corner as well. Weed shops,
Just
liquor
stop
stores,
it. Yes.
all the
And
fried
and then all the
food.
weed shops they're bringing in our neighborhood.
Yes, it was
I mean,
one
they
thing to
have
have
a
one
couple of
weed
them
shop, but
downtown
now it's
too,
like they're
but
everywhere.
we don't need any more.
Right. It's most
That's it.
definitely. It's just it's becoming like the new thing to keep everybody intoxicated, to keep the mind
Keep them high. Yeah,
imbalanced.
they're using a different type of drug to keep you high. Like back in the 70s, they had one drug keeping everybody high.
Right.
Now they have something out that they're talking about. They posted on social media where people take it and they just stand there and bend over for hours. Just standing there,
Yes.
bend over. They just some new drug that just came out. Who wants to see all that?
Yes, we're seeing
That's
slowly what happened
insane.
on Mass and Cass happening to our brothers and sisters of all ages. On all ages groups like high school students, middle schoolers, college students, and older and
And
beyond
all
are,
the corner stores that are selling vapes. I mean,
yes,
I
selling
drive down the
vapes.
block from work. Boom, what do I see? A nice little corner store. All of a sudden, bright light,
And a
booming
lot of
vape.
them don't even know what's actually are in the vapes that they're buying. They just see a flavor and they're
Exactly.
purchasing it. And
I have no idea. I asked somebody about that yesterday. I didn't
right.
know what is that. But anyways, I'm old school. So I think, some of those things are what we need to work on. And let me not forget, in the neighborhood on Cummins Highway, that new highway they put out there is trash. The
Yes.
road is bumpy. Every day I go over that rotary that leans my car over to the side. It's crazy. There are no arrows pointing in which direction the cars are supposed to go in. The whole thing looks like trash. There's dirt patches
Most
everywhere. There's
definitely.
still stuff that looks undone in places that they claim to be undone. That's how
Their
Cummins Highway is trash.
their excuse for Cummins Highway is that they haven't finished the project, so that's why it's still this, that, and the third. But
I hope they
in
haven't finished, but they
actuality,
needed to do
they're
something.
just trying out different stuff to see if we're actually gonna have an uproar or not. Being from
Hmm.
Mattapan, I personally don't like the new implementation and waste of hundreds of millions of dollars they put into Cummins Highway, because as it's in the name, Cummins
Exactly.
Highway. How could a highway be a one lane road? It's in the name. Highway.
Oh,
So
and
it
the
just doesn't
bummy
make sense to
rotary.
me.
There should be like a monument in that rotary right there that signifies the neighborhood. A nice big stone monument.
That could
Welcome
be a
to
great
whatever that
implement,
neighborhood is.
you
And
know.
the rotary should be a rotary where cars can drive around and your car is not tilting. And there's also like bumpy holes near the rotary, so you have to. I see cars. I do the same thing. They have to move over to the right so we avoid the bumpy hole. That's on the new rotary that they just put there. Crazy.
You know,
What
if
neighborhood would they do that in?
I
Than
agree that
Mattapan.
they wouldn't try these implementations into Rosendale. They wouldn't try this going further down into JP and the other sides of Boston towards Fenway and Newberry Street. They wouldn't try that over there. They would definitely, most definitely,
Absolutely not.
try these new implementations in the black community.
Try putting that rotary on the Riverway. That's
Yes,
crazy.
try doing that on the Riverway. Try making the entirety of the Riverway one lane, and let's see how people like that,
And
including
the traffic is crazy.
Right.
I mean,
most
I was
definitely.
coming from off Cummins Highway to hit American Legion Highway. All of a sudden, the traffic became crazy. It wasn't like that 2 months ago, but
Wow.
it's like a long line of traffic.
Yes, and that's
Crazy.
that's
I
the
don't know.
reality of this project. I
New
believe
highway, yeah. The project, right. Sorry to cut you off there.
yes, the Cummins Highway project. You know, like I'm sure that they realized that this project itself, which costs millions of dollars to implement, was gonna cause a lot of traffic. And now that you know that we're in war with the Middle East, with Iran, and the gas prices is going up, and people are sitting in traffic on Cummins Highway, going all the way down to pretty much the borderline to Milton, going all the way down through Rosendale. The entirety of Cummins Highway has so much traffic on it that people are trying to find different ways to get home. They're taking side roads. They're trying to take other ways to get home. And some people are not following the laws of the road anymore because they're so frustrated that they're just trying to get home to their families, feed their kids, feed their dogs, sit down after a long 8 hours, 12 hours at work. And I don't think they really fully thought about how changing a highway for fast traffic into a one-lane road was truly going to impact the community. And now they're trying to do that on Blue Hill Ave. And Blue Hill Ave is also designated a highway. You can search up the route number online. It's
Let's
also
not
a designated
forget those.
highway.
They need to do. I heard it in the news lately about those mopeds, the delivery drivers, the people. I saw a guy go through the traffic and went down the side. He could have been knocking off people's those side view mirrors.
Right.
He was so tight, and I'm looking at. I was like, thank God that my car wasn't there, because that happened to me before.
Wow.
The moped knocked my mirror off in the middle of the road.
That's
There
awful.
was no space for a moped.
That's
That's
awful.
crazy. So every time I see them, I panic.
Right.
I do.
Most definitely. It brings a question to these mopeds and these little motored scooters and whatnot.
But
Should
what
they-
happened
should-
to the bike lane?
Right,
Where are the
because
bike
now there's no
lanes?
bike lane on Cummins Highway, so I think they would be expected to go back to the sidewalk how it used to be back in the day, because now the road has no space on Cummins Highway for these bikers. We only have enough space for the car, and for these people to be swooping around our car, it could cause a lot of problems
It
for
has
Cummins
caused a lot of
Highway.
accidents.
Most definitely. I go through Cummins Highway every day, and I believe the people who made this project don't even live on Cummins Highway. Having a meeting with Cummins Highway, the neighborhood association over there, we spoke to some of the people who are on this project, and they don't even live in Mattapan. They don't even
course
live
not.
near Cummins Highway. They don't go through Cummins Highway, but the people here do. All right, we have another caller, so I appreciate your time.
Thank
Peace
you.
and blessings.
Thank
and hope
you.
you have
Nice
a great
to
day.
hear you back.
Yes, it's
Keep up the
great to
good
be
work.
back here. Yes, definitely.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Say Cora. Her name is Cora.
Cora, how you doing? Peace and blessings.
Good morning. This is Michelle. I'm calling regarding the conversation you guys are having. Sorry. I live off Cummins Highway, and I am in total agreement with you with this big old rotary that they put in by the gas station.
Right.
And this project that has been going on now for like 3 years, and every time you talk to the guys that are out there working, all they say is prepare for the worst. We're going to be here for much longer. And I've
Right.
been hearing that now for 3 years.
Right.
And it's so inconvenient that they make all these, Cummins Highway, American Legion, some parts of High Park Ave into single lanes when there were two. So you have the other side of the road. What are you doing with it? Nothing, but it's rotting away. But this side that we're driving on is also beaten up every single day. That there's potholes. You got to know how to drive. Unless you drive here every day, all you're doing is in boop, 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 boop. It's so, whose idea was this?
Right, and so much money's going down the drain with the potholes, because what if people's tires start getting popped? I remember a couple brothers from the neighborhood meetings telling us about how their tires were getting popped, their cars are getting like damaged from all this road work that they're doing, and they're not actually fixing the roads itself. They're trying to do these new projects, and I want to tell you, I remember my brief time working at City Hall when this project was actually brought towards the table, and I was entirely against this project when they first brought it to my ears when I was working at City Hall for my brief moment there, that this project is not something that people would want. And it comes again, what they're trying to do with Blue Hill Ave. It's like they don't even ask the people who live here, what do we actually want in our communities? Because these millions of dollars that's going towards these projects could have went towards the schools, towards families, towards single mothers that are trying to feed their families, feed their children. This could have went to child relief. This could have went to gas relief. This could have went to tax relief. This money could have went towards even beautifications in the neighborhoods, but instead they're doing projects that aren't benefiting us. Now we're sitting in, I live off Cummins Highway myself, so it's just like for somebody to have to actually go through this traffic on a day-to-day basis, you know how much money we're losing in gas? And the gas prices are just going up and up and up. Gas prices have gone up due to the war with Trump that he's having in the Middle East. And now we're over here paying more. The black community is paying more to get home, to get to work, to see their friends and family than the average person is on the other side of Boston.
And the sidewalks are bigger than the roads.
The sidewalks are bigger than the roads. And if you look at the sidewalks, how many people do you see walking down the sidewalks on Cummins Highway? How many people you see?
Oh my gosh, it's so and you drive and you got to drop the kids off and you got to go to work, and I tell you, every single day I'm frustrated. As soon as I get in my car, I'm frustrated because you don't know what you're looking at and what you're expecting, and what's you're going to change route today, and you're going to have to turn down this way today, and it's every day. I look at this big old rotary, and people are driving on it because, again, even the rotary is bigger than the road. The sidewalks are bigger than the street you're traveling on, and the rotary, whose idea? Every day I ask myself, whose idea was this? Please take it out. Take it away. Take it. We don't need all this. Put the two lanes back so people can travel as and not be stuck in. You know what I mean? Oh my God.
I'm a big advocate for bringing the 2 lanes back. And right now we have another caller, so I'm definitely going to get back onto this topic really soon.
Okay,
I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great morning.
Thank you.
Peace
Have a blessed
and blessings.
day.
Thank you as well.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Okay. Cora? Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. How are you doing?
Hello?
Hello. Good morning. How are you doing? Peace and blessings.
Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. So, y'all talked about so much, and I just want to start in Jamaica Plain and work my way down to Nubian Square, a.k.a. Dudley.
Yes.
But I remember when I was like about 12 or 13 years old, my mother kept telling, I grew up in Bromley Heath Project, and my mother kept telling me, take pictures of all these things that are going on now.
Right.
She said, because in about 20, 30 years, all this isn't going to be here. She even told me the name. She said it's going to be called Southwest Corridor. And all those mom and pop businesses, gone.
Wow.
These so-called walking parks, it's just a sidewalk with some grass on the east side. Where's the park?
Right.
All those businesses now, and my mother told me, she said, they're going to build around the project, and it's going to push the project back where you can barely see them. And here it is. She told me, my mother passed in 71. She told me, I guess, around 69, 70. And everything that she told me was going to take place The neighborhood house that was over in Jamaica Plain on Lambertine Street, tore that down. They got these nice fancy buildings around it.
That we can't
you can
afford
barely
to live
see the
in.
project unless you're deep inside of it.
Right.
And Nubian.
Yes.
Supposedly, my understanding, I don't know if I got the right information. I don't want to be misinformed or spread misinformation, that Dudley was a slave master, and so they brought it Nubian for the blacks. But I see all these beautiful buildings that's going up, and that's not solving the homelessness, the housing issue, because the rents are sky high.
Yes.
The apartments aren't big as a shoebox.
Right.
And all the businesses that was down there. I saw all this happening, but it was last week I walked. No, it was Tuesday, as a matter of fact. I walked from Nubian Station to 1,000 Mass Ave. Just walked. And I was so heartbroken to see that those businesses that kept the community thriving has been bought out, forced out, or whatever. And like, and I'm looking around, I'm like, well, what happened to, where is, the little like the little stores like Robel's, where you can go in and buy furnishings, things for your house. You could buy some clothes.
Right.
All those little stores that was down there gone.
Wow.
Just like, what happened? Why do we have to be forced to go downtown or order online? Because our little stores, our community stores, are no longer there. Right. Those. I remember years ago they used to put a little advertisement on the buses when they was having the community meetings, when they would have the banner. The banner still exists, but they put them where you can barely see them. So, like, people don't know about these different community meetings. When you look up, all this stuff hasn't happened. I know good and well I would not have voted for these 2 lanes to become 1.
Right.
That's where all the traffic comes from. And the street I live on, people used to, would just drive up Washington Street. Now they're turning down my street because there's no lights there. And it's causing a lot of congestion on these here streets where had they just left stuff alone.
The residential streets are now facing, the residential streets that you live on and myself are now facing so much traffic coming through, and just strangers coming more onto our streets on a more consistent basis than it was back in 2008 or 2010 or even 05. Because nowadays everybody's trying to just find the quickest way home, and this could cause a lot of unsafety issues, because people are crossing the streets, or people just want to be outside.
My daughter got hit by a car a couple of weeks ago crossing the street. The guy stopped, and then when soon as she got out there near the car to step up on the sidewalk, he took off and he hit her.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
And kept going. So I live near the commuter rail, so now the people are parking over here, and on the other streets taking up the parking space for the people that live here. Now they got to go somewhere else to park until these people come and get their cars. And then mopeds, those delivery people, right. A lot of them don't even have a license plate.
Right.
So you can hit them and get sued, but if they hit you, what you getting?
Nothing. Those little mopeds cost $1,000. If they break, they're going to buy another one and do the same exact thing.
Exactly. And I fault the city for that, because it should be a requirement. And the businesses, if the business is going to have these people, they need to be insured. But yeah,
I appreciate your time,
wanted to say that. I had a whole lot more, but I know there's other callers. I just want to touch a little bit on everything.
No, and I appreciate everything you touched upon, because it was really important to talk about that. And I'm praying for your family, and I hope that Boston has a safer and better Boston for all of us coming soon, because this isn't right.
Okay, and kingdom blessings. Keep your crown on straight. Have a great day.
You as well. Thank you. Next caller. Peace and blessings.
Blessings.
Peace and blessings. How are we doing? Good morning. How are you doing? That's why it's very important. Okay. How you doing, Sister Wilkerson? Diane, Miss Sister Diane Wilkerson, how are you doing? I can't hear anything right now. I can't hear nothing right now. I don't think she came on yet. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Peace and blessings. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Good morning. It's really hard to hear you.
Let me try to get a little bit closer to the mic. Yes, I can hear you.
So first, good morning. I am so excited to hear you. You have this incredible, calming but powerful voice. And
I'm very happy to be speaking with you as well.
In the process. And so I just wanted to say it's just nice to hear you. And then I had 2 points that I wanted to make about the conversation you're having.
Yes.
I want people to think about this because we say this constantly because it's true that they wouldn't be doing this anywhere else in any other neighborhood.
Right.
Blue Hill Avenue and Morton Street are on the official state federal map as Boston's evacuation route. If there was a reason that we needed to leave,
right,
our community would never get out of Boston.
Wow.
Just think about that. Trying to clear, to get folks to leave, evacuate Roxbury or Mattapan or Dorchester down a one-way street.
Wow.
And I don't want to scare anybody, but I just want people to think about it. What's the phrase? Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that no one's after. That doesn't mean that no one's not after you.
Right.
It is crazy, and the commenters keep making the same comment because it is true. Whose idea is this?
Right.
Whose idea is this? But the reality is, it is someone's idea.
Right. Somebody's sitting in those rooms making those decisions.
I saw you at the single-lane Blue Hill Avenue meeting that Councilors Worrell and Culpepper hosted. You sat in the front and you spoke, and I actually didn't get a chance to speak to you directly. By the way, this is Diane Wilkerson. And but I said next time I saw you, I was going to make sure that I did the introduction and raise my hand and introduce myself to you because I was impressed even then. It is just so important for young people. Remember one of the speakers said something that stuck with me. She said it's so important for young people to know the history. I then posted it's important for us to teach it because you can't know it if we don't. You clearly have spent the time, the necessary time, to learn the history. Just please keep doing that.
Thank you.
Because it is important. Last thing I want to say is, on Tuesday, this Tuesday, the 14th,
yes,
there is a what we're calling a Black Political Accountability Town Hall at Roxbury Community College in the Media Arts Building from 6 to 8 on Tuesday. The purpose of that meeting is for community folks to talk about. First, they're going to see a presentation of the actual votes that are. We're starting with the city council, but that's just where we're starting. We'll be dealing with state electeds, the mayor, and state electeds the next process. But for the 6 city councilors of color who represent this community,
right?
We literally had someone. I don't know if people know Reggie Stewart, the young man who used to serve in the constituent role for the former councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson, who was able to do collect the information of the votes that the sitting city councilors actually take for us. Because see, we see them in the community smiling, right? We see them at the events, and we see a lot of pictures, but the actual work is the votes that they take when they go into that building at City Hall. And so we did a presentation to them in March to walk through and ask them to explain their votes. I think your callers would be shocked to see how the people who are smiling in your face every day are actually voting, and how often the Black or Latino city councilors vote vote against our best interest.
Right.
Councilor Worrell had and Julia Mejia had the highest rating of voting yes, in supporting issues that were important to us from last year. This year so far, I would say Councilor Julia Mejia is still in that spot. Councilor Worrell is still in that spot. Councilor Culpepper has joined them in that spot in voting yes on issues of importance to us. You'd be surprised where Councilor Santana, Councilor Lucian,
Most
and Councilor
definitely.
Pepin are somewhere in the middle.
Could you remind us? Could you remind us one more time?
That they go into that city council or they take a vote. They take a vote that's harmful to us, and people need to understand that.
Most definitely, and that's definitely very important for us to understand. Could you just let us know on air one more time about that event on April 14th?
Tuesday evening, the